Hi, this video is going to talk about generating random numbers in a range. And the closest page in your book that it corresponds to is page 34, but we will also be talking about some other things. So first of all, if you want to generate a range of random numbers, there's a kind of a general formula. And there's a couple different versions of this out there on the internet, and you can look for it, but we're going to use the following. We're going to get Greenfoot.getRandomNumber num plus start. And the num is going to be a value from 0 to whatever the num is. So if num was 50, it would be 0 to 50. And then the start value is how much we're going to offset the value by. For example, if I have Greenfoot.getRandomNumber 20 plus 10, it's going to generate numbers from 10 to 29. And that's because the random numbers go from 0 to 20, and then they're offset. Actually, the random numbers go 0 to 19, and then they're offset or shifted by the number start, and in this case, that's 10. So I'll just say that they're offset by 10. And that then makes the numbers go from 0 up to 29. So our numbers start at 0 and go to 29. We are going to now try a little experiment. This is something new. You haven't seen this before, but we are going to generate a random number, and then we're going to use a system output statement, and you're going to see that it outputs to the console window. And what this does is it kind of lets us have a little playground, so to speak. And so we're going to try this. It has already compiled, there's no syntax errors. And if I go over here and I click run, what you're going to notice in the background is there's some numbers running here. If I click on this, this is a console output, and it keeps generating those random numbers because I put that code inside the act method. If I pause this, and then we look at the numbers should fall between, what did we decide? It should be between 10 and 29. I believe I said 0, but it's going to be 10 and 29. Because if I offset 0 to 19 by 10, 0 plus 10 is 10, and 19 plus 10 is 29. So if I scroll up and down on this screen and I look at the numbers, I should be getting numbers from 10 up to 29. And I'm seeing that it fits in that range. I haven't seen any 10s exactly. If I kept running it and watched for that, there probably would be one that would pop up sooner or later. And it's not running right now, actually. Let's see if it'll run. And so there I saw a 10 scroll by. I don't know if you can see that on the video or not, but we do have numbers from 10 to 29. Now let's say that maybe we want to generate a different set of random numbers. Let's say that we want to start at, and I'll just make up a number. Let's say that we start at 50 and we go to, let's say go to 70. And so what we want to think about is the range of numbers from 50 to 70. That's a range of 20 numbers. And we want to start it at, starts at 50. So to change my line of code here, I want to start at 50. That's going to be the number that we add. That's our offset. And then I want a range of 20. And so I happen to have a value of 20 here. And so we're going to have a range of 20 numbers. And so 50 plus 20 is 70, so that should go 50 to 70. Now we are off by 1 is what we call it, that it's actually going to go up to 69. It's not actually going to get to 70. Again, I'm going to experiment with this, but I want to clear this window, and so this is called, it's a console window here. I'm going to go to options and clear it, so then I can test my theory that I'm going to get numbers from 50 to 70. And so we're going to compile, and we are going to run this code. And I'm stealing the crab program right now in order to run this code, because it's not running any of the crab. I'm just running this little, I have a little playground going. So if I start to look, I'm looking for numbers from 50 to, it'll be 69. And if I pause that here just a second, we can just glance and see I've got 66, 63, 57, 60. And so it's looking like we're having 53, 50, so there's 50 and it goes up to 69. So there's my range of numbers. We can also generate negative random numbers by using this idea that we start at this value, that's our start value, and we have a range of, in this case it was 20 numbers. So let's say I want to generate some random numbers. And so I'm going to go, let's say I want to go from, let's say my goal is to go from negative 30 to 30 roughly. We will still have that off by 1 error. And so I'm going to want to offset my random numbers by a certain amount. I have a range of 30, and we want to start at negative 30. And I need to make an edit. That's a range of 60. Because if I go from negative 30 to 30, that's 60 numbers. So if I change this, what I want to do is the number that goes in here is really the range. So I have a range of 60 numbers, and I want to start at negative 30. So some examples of that would be if I start at negative 30 and I add 40, that's going to give me a value of 10. If I start at negative 30 and I add, let's take another, let's say I have a range of 60 numbers, so I could add 50. What's negative 30 plus 50? That's going to be 20. And even though I won't actually reach, if I go negative 30 and I add 60, that would be positive 30. But remember, because of the off by 1 error, because we start this number at 0, this will actually go 0 to 59. My maximum value would be 29. So if I really want to get from negative 30 to 30, then I would need to make this number increase by 1. And that will give me values from negative 30 to 30. So let's try this. We are going to compile, and we'll try it. We're still in the crab playground. I cleared this window. Remember, you do Option Clear to clear that. And we're just going to run this. And it hasn't compiled yet. The reason it didn't compile is I have a typo. It has an illegal start of expression here is the error message. I'm going to hit delete to take care of that. Compile, and then we will run. And if we run and take a look at the numbers that are generating, I am looking for values from negative 30 up to positive 30. It's a range of 60 numbers, so negative 30 to positive 30. And if we pause this for just a second, we can see that we're getting values between negative 30 up to positive 30, but I've got a mistake here. Look, I get a 51, a 44, a 52, a 36. So something has gone a little haywire. If I go back and I take a look, the lowest number here is negative 3. And what happened was, when I deleted my error message, I didn't leave that at 30. So I accidentally deleted out the 30. I had replaced it with a minus sign. So put 30 back in there, recompile, and we should be good to go. I'm going to clear this out again, and we will run and see now if we get values from negative 30 to 30. And this is looking 30, positive 30, negative 10, negative 23. That's looking better. So that's how you can generate a range of random numbers, as well as random numbers that are positive and random numbers that are in a negative range.